And then I guess lastly is my final general thought. I loved Thrawn as a villain. Um, I went into this and I was like, how can anyone take Darth Vader's
Yeah,
place? Like,
yeah.
how could it be done? And we still haven't seen like a ton of Thrawn because we're just like one book in, but I'm like, oh man, this guy is cold and calculated and a little
Methodical.
bit
Yeah.
charismatic. Like he can be like really, really nice to somebody, but he's doing it in like a manipulative way to get his own way. Um, and I'm like, man, and there was not everything, obviously, it's not all like one to one, but there were certain parts of his character that reminded me a little bit of Rezkin from King's
Yeah.
Dark
I
Tidings,
could see that.
where he was just like he was able to change his personality on a dime. Like he could go from like cold and calculating to like when he was dealing with a certain underling or whatever, he would act like very like noble and like courteous and whatever, but he's doing that to gain like whatever he needs from that person. That's like the face that he's putting on. And then there were other characters that he talked to where he was just like, kill him, and he's just like completely like dead and cold inside. I thought, and he was a brilliant like tactician. Like everything, one of the first space fights that he's in, I think it might even be one of the first couple chapters.
Oh yes, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like turn the ship this way, and he gives them some other order, and one of his like underlings is like, wait, like, sir, like, not to be rude, but like, why would we do that? Because if we're facing that way, like, it's not going to work the right way. He's like, just watch what happens. Just watch what happens. And the other ship, I wish I could remember exactly what like the play-by-play was, but the ship understood them to be doing something other than what they were doing, which happened to get them in the correct position to just obliterate them when they eventually like came around or whatever. I forget exactly what it was. But he did that by not being like, oh, this is where I need to place my ship in order to get this shot. He understood the enemy to the point where he was like, this is how this specific people will think about this maneuver that I'm doing.
Yep.
And dude, that moment I was just like, dude, that was so cool. Like I love characters like that think and plan ahead and like know things about the person they're facing that inevitably gets them the win. I thought Thrawn was awesome.
He's a cool character. I like that he is so strategic, and I like the comment or the part where he talks about like art and how like, art tells you about a culture and it teaches you stuff. And there was like one part where he was showing Pelion a piece of art. He was like, this art didn't tell me anything, and I failed at this, and I destroyed the whole planet or something like that. And it was like, that's really cool, the art thing, because that's so real in real life too. Just like art communicates culture from like ancient to now, and I think that's cool. And another thing that's kind of cool about Thrawn and that makes him special, I feel like, in the context of the Empire, is that he's the only alien that holds an office. So there's like a race thing to that. So I don't think they said it in the book, and I don't know if it comes in the books later, but I know from somewhere that he's a Chiss. That's what they're called. I'm not sure if I'm remembering things from where.
Sure.
But I think the Chiss are people from like either that super far outer rim of the galaxy, or so they're not like a normal
so he would have had to like
see in
and he would have had to like fight his way up to get rank like that,
right?
Coming from a nowhere nobody place,
right?
That's true.
It really demonstrates that. Like I can't remember it where, but I've heard that there's a reason why the Emperor had humans be the leaders in the Empire, because there was like a prejudice or something against aliens and stuff. And so it really demonstrates Thrawn's like skill and like what he has that's valuable, that brought him to such a high leadership position. And yeah, it's just terrifying too. Red eyes, dude.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Terrifying. And because he's so controlled in the way he speaks and just direct, you just start, he's the guy that if you saw him get in the elevator, you'd be like, I'll wait for the next one.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, he's definitely terrifying for sure.
In the live action,
I've heard people are not happy with his live action look.
He looks a little odd. I've heard multiple people say that he looks like just blue,
like a Walmart.
Blue
Walmart Thrawn.
Walmart Thrawn. No, a blue Elon Musk.
Oh, that's so true.
Yep, I could totally see that.
That's so true.
No, I think he's perfect though. He looks a little weird, a little funky.
Yeah,
but I think he's perfect in live action.
How he appears in Ahsoka, does it like line up at all with this, or is it very different?
It's pretty different.
Okay.
The art thing is still true, and the character is still true. It's just a whole different story, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the ship is still called the Chimera.
Oh, okay.
And Pelion is a character, but you haven't seen him with Thrawn yet.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Gabe, any thoughts on Thrawn before we go into our like piece by piece thing here?
No, yeah, we covered all. My thing was after I heard Isaac confirm that he did come from, well, if he's correct, from the Outer Rim. Mm-hmm. I could just tell that, the way that he speaks and like being a tactician, that like he came from the bottom and earned his spot.
Right.
Which is scary.
Yeah. Yeah, people are like terrified of him for a reason, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this Fantasy Files clip. You can see the whole episode in the next screen here or link down in the description. But first, a big shout out to our top patron, Shad Zaman. Thank you so much, man, for all your support.